so decided to finally fix this tranny leak in the pan. I guess I should have checked the pan bolts. I just thought, got the tranny, I figured everything would be snug, no problems. They did their own kind of weld-in bung. But, I mean, this tranny was... shit, I couldn't have put more than fucking... I wouldn't even say 30 miles on this truck yet. Maybe 10, not even 10 probably. It's not even 2 miles to work, and I've driven it there and back a couple times. Like, I haven't driven far, laps a couple times. Like, that's no bueno. Yeah, there's that. I'll show you the fucking everything else that I found. On the top of that filter was a bolt. Where'd I lay it? This bolt right here was laying in the filter like so. This bolt, this light did not fuck with it. A little better, kinda. This is where the bolt came from. That wire looks dry rotted. Little stuff, man, little stuff. And then up, wait, I'm not trying to get my phone in it. Up in there, there's some pieces that look like they're just kind of breaking off and whatnot. I don't know what they're from. I think it's just, you know, cast parts. Just like, you know, you pull a motor apart, you're gonna have spots. This is where they did the machine work, just little fragments and shit that could fall off. So, but anywho, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this valve body off and go through this shit myself. I'm gonna try and go ahead and do a manual fucking mod myself also, manual valve body. That is the plan. It's got a Transgo shift kit in it. You can see the little fucking paper right there says Transgo. I really want to know what's on this fucking plate, but they painted over it, kinda. But anywho, check back in here in a minute and we'll see what's up. Alright, so the dude where I got this tranny from was apparently just some bullshit. Cause I mean, when I went there, it was just down this back road in Kentucky in this little, you know, metal pole building. I had a lift in it, and I had a ton of transmissions on the floor wrapped up in plastic, just like mine was. But he's like, oh, this is the only Turbo 400 we got, and they were so hard to come by, blah, 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 blah. So, my theory is the only thing they did with this was a shift kit. My theory is this is a completely stock transmission that they clean up, paint, put a shift kit in so it feels kind of, you know, peppy and makes you feel like it's built, and then sell it to you as a built transmission for, you know, $600, or, you know, not a built transmission. It was a basically not a reman kind of. It was just, you know, they rebuilt it with stock parts and put a shift kit in it. My thing is, I think it was a completely stock transmission with a shift kit. It's got a Transgo shift kit in it, but that's probably about it. This thing is something else, man. If I was gonna give someone something, I think I would clean like the rust and shit off of it. I don't think I would. I don't know. I just couldn't send it out the door. Oh, this line's all fucked up, dirty. Besides the fact it was broken, I couldn't send something out the door like this, fucking with rust and shit on it. I just couldn't. They broke a bolt off in the fucking actual, like, the transmission portion of, like, the actual body where this bolts up to. One of the bolts was broke. Like, when I loosened it, it was only on by a couple threads, and it just fell out. So someone had to have ran it on with something extra tight, snapped that bolt. I was looking at a video, and the bolt at which the actual rust on the end of it, the bolt that actually supposed to be a stud, actually the stud that the filter sits on, was just a bolt with a weird neck on it that didn't even belong there. Like, it sat off on it, and I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a spacer below the filter. So this thing was just kind of hodgepodge together, in my opinion. So I'm gonna try and make the best of it as I can. I'm gonna try and just convert this to manual valve body on my own. I will have you follow along, you know, and it's gonna be new to me just as much as it is probably half you guys, if you even mess with it on your own. So once again, more rust on that. It's crazy. But so yeah, I'm gonna start turning into this valve body and work on getting it, you know, to just full manual shift, none of that nonsense. And then the plan for the transmission, as long as it lives and it doesn't have any fucking other issues, which there's no fucking guarantee with this bullshit. I gotta get that bolt out that's broken. Clean this pan. Get all this gunk on it and shit. Ugh. It drives me nuts, man. It shouldn't be doing shit like this if it's yeah. Some half-assery for sure. Next time I would just be buying a stock transmission and building it myself. I'd rather spend the $600 and buying the fucking right tools for it than just paying somebody else $600 to fucking, you don't know what the fuck you got. So I've got a new trans footer over there, which will probably, transmission footer will most likely just replace it and not even fuck around with this one unless it's way far off left field, like wrong. So yeah, we'll go from there. But I'm gonna go and start tearing this valve body apart, and let's see what else we find, what other fuckery we find in here. Other pluses. The plan was to replace the gasket only on this, just pan gasket, make it quit leaking, put it back together, seal up, drive it out, done. Now, because I was supposed to pull the GTP in and start pulling it apart because it's getting wheel bearings, fuel pump, blowers coming off, and I'm porting the blower, the snout, thought about as much of it as I can port. Porting everything. Gotta change the blend door actuator, intake gasket, and the supercharger gasket, or, you know, got a new one of those. So I'm gonna get it ready basically to put a smaller pulley on it down the road. So just trying to get it back to driving, daily driving duties, since the Volvo is apparently going to be down, because the plan is to swap it and put an LS in it. But if this tranny is fucked, most likely why spend $300, $400 or whatever on a rebuild kit for this transmission, and who knows what else it would need, you know, at that point. Then might as well pull this motor out and take this motor and the ADE over there, go get a stock converter for the time being, because I'm not spending fucking money on a converter right now that I don't really need. Stock one will be sufficient enough. I'm gonna go ahead and pull motor. You might use that ECU, I'm not sure. And I've got another harness I can do over here. So I'll do a harness to keep AC but do away with EVAP, and just leave this as another extra harness, and probably ECM, because I got a PCM over here that is I think it's a 4.8 with an 80E out of a van. So that is the plan for it. This fucking camera's all fucked up from the damn crack in the fucking backside of it. But yeah, so that's the plan. If this thing is too fucked and I gotta spend a bunch of money, I might as well just go ahead and buy a universal mount kit and some tubing to make a cross. Oh shit! Some tubing to make a cross member. Golly. So tubing to make a cross member and a universal mount kit, one of the ones that are adjustable. Well, not so much, because I've already got the mounts that bolt to the actual motor on this, so I don't need that. I just need to buy some tubing and the bottom half of those mounts. Should be fairly easy. Shouldn't need a whole lot then. pretty much just tubing to make a mount. So tubing to make a mount, a bushing maybe, we'll see. We'll see what all I can get away with what I already have, but universal mount kit, tubing so I can make a cross member and the mounts for the Volvo, and then get a converter and pull the Volvo in, bolt everything up, try and keep the AC. The plan is to probably TIG weld the lines together, so I'm going to take the stock lines out of the compressor and TIG them to the lines that are actually on the Volvo, which they're on the compressors are on opposite sides, which ought to be fun, but I can make something happen. So that's the plan. Stock GM compressor, PCM, and probably gonna get this 7875 with stock. It's gonna get cast manifolds. Yeah, 7875, and maybe I'll end up just trying to find an S480 for this, or I'll try and find an S480 for the Volvo. I don't know. I'd rather do it once and do a bigger turbo, because I don't want to have to go back. So I don't know. We'll see. For now, we're gonna work on this. If this, like I said, if this tranny is fucked, like fucking fucked, yeah, ADE and LS swap Volvo it is. So I'm gonna get tearing into this thing and we'll see where we're at. Alright, so I had picked up this radiator in that package deal the other day where I zoom a little bit so you can see it. Where I got a bunch of stuff. I got this, that Turbo 400, and that big ass sheet of aluminum right there, all for like 70 bucks. So I couldn't pass it up. It's an F-body radiator, if you couldn't tell by the sensor on it and the fan mounts. So I'll see if I can get her in here. It should be a better option compared to the stock F-body that I've tried to fit but won't fit. But I think now that I'm putting hood pins on it, I can cut this whole section out, and I got a little tube of steel right there that should be able to just make a little cross brace basically just to hold the whole front end. But yeah, get rid of all this bullshit. I'm tired of fucking having to put something under it to hold pressure on it so I can actually shut the hood. So we're gonna do away with all that shit. Got hood pins unfortunately, but what else are you gonna do? So I'm gonna see if I can get this radiator tucked down in there real quick, and I'll fill you in as soon as I get it as close as possible to fitting. Alright, so as you can tell, got the front core support or top of the radiator support, whatever you want to call it, cut out. Plan was put a small piece of plate, take this rod, and come. I was gonna bend it kind of out at an angle and then follow up about to there and bend up and around, and just set the radiator about right here. But one, too tall. Two, still not able to fit really any fucking fans in here. So pretty much comes down to gotta try and put that radiator back in here and like shove it up. I mean, it's not gonna fit. I mean, it doesn't matter if I cut that shit out or not, it's still not enough room. So the debate, do I cut the hot side off, put a cast manifold there, get the turbo set lower down, redo the exhaust, and go ahead and just get that shit done out the way? Or do I go ahead, say fuck it, pull the motor tranny up out of this, put the ADE on the back of it, and shove it in the Volvo, or put the Turbo 400 in it for now, because I don't have a converter for the ADE right now. But fuck, stick this, just take all of this, stick it in the Volvo, and do another harness, because I want to keep AC and everything, and then which this I should be able to keep AC on the bottom, because I'm gonna make the mounts myself for the Volvo and keep heat and everything. So use these mounts, these engine mounts, and then the ones that mount on the frame, I'll just leave them. I'm not worried about those, unless I use that as part of the bushing and make something I can bolt that to, something, because there just isn't enough room in here whatsoever when it comes down to, I mean, I hate having a fucking, tubular header if I don't have to. If I could just use a fucking cast manifold, I'd use a cast manifold, but it's damn near impossible to get one to fit past that steering shaft without changing a bunch of shit. And I mean, I don't know if you've kind of followed the trend with all my own shit, my personal shit. I like to do, you know, as much as I can with shit I have laying around or stuff I've already got, stuff I can make out, you know, for free or out of something else, and vice versa. You know, the more the better. So if I don't have it laying around, I usually, if I don't, unless I like have to have it, 9 times out of 10 I'm gonna try and make something instead of you know, buying another one. That's just how I am. I'm not gonna go waste money I don't have on shit, you know, when I've got plenty of other stuff I could make, you know, work for it. Function over form. I'm not worried about looking pretty. I just want it to go fast. I just want to have fun with it, you know. I know I just put a rear end in it. I know, I mean, shit, one thing after another. But they make a pretty nice 8.8 kit. Trying to think of who makes it. Is it free? It's a weird Giffen Motorsports or Giffen something. That dude makes some pretty cool shit. He makes everything LS swap for Volvos. He makes a kit to take an 8.8 and use it with the factory shit with the Volvo. It literally like everything you need, and all you have to do is burn it in. You just get a 8.8, knock all the other, you know, flanges you don't need off, and set it up in there, mock it up where you need it, burn it in, and once you burn the brackets in, it's good to go. You bolt it up in, and then I'd have a better option for bolt patterns. You know, I could have those axles drilled for this bolt patterns. I could use these wheels, or I could get some cheap wheels off of Jegs or eBay or something that are for an 8.8 to put a set of, you know, a radial on or something. But shit, for the time being, we'll probably just slam it in there, use the factory rear end, and just destroy the tires on the back of that thing. So this thing is fun, was fun, but it's such a tight space. There's just not enough room for what I'd like to do and want to do. And, you know, like I'd like to keep heat so I could drive it around when it's cool out and whatnot, but it's just a lot. It don't fit in there. There's a lot of other stuff you got to do to like get these real slim fitting, you know, airbox setups that bolt to the firewall to miss the motor and whatnot, so don't bust it. And it's not efficient for what I'm trying to do. So that's the plan. I'm gonna talk it over with her, and I'm gonna figure out something maybe tomorrow. Fuck it, instead of putting hood pins on this thing, there's no point if I'm just gonna rip it apart. Probably just take and go ahead and start ripping this thing apart. Might do one good fun burnout again, so I might stick that radiator in it, and go out there in the carport and just rip a good one if the neighbor lady isn't there. I don't want to piss the neighbor lady off, or I'll go out the road somewhere and just rip a good burnout. But because last time I did one in the garage here, it kind of tore the floor up. I don't want to tear the floor up anymore. So I mean, quick ones, like you can see the black marks right there a little bit, like quick, just, you know, jump in it and blow them off real quick and get out of it ain't too bad. But if you sit there and just fucking haze them and start building up smoke, that's when they start tearing shit up. So yep, we're gonna go run this by the old lady and see what she says, and then we'll go from there. I'll keep you guys updated and let you know what's going on.